Tenita, the Argentine young the college town, Ban Drubwang and Kashi, you are so much about getting such a shot at them, Doji, something somewhere, Doji, Mangun, somebody, the carrier somebody, Sanjay about me that don't buy shot at about your condom, confliction body, the immediate of the Sanjay about me, Jawjia unity, they don't court any other, Lumbuja unit, the Jagatoma, Lubuja unity, Robotaji Thursday, Tiki, Hong and Java, Lobus down to the Dini, this is the Diaji who judges one, the teacher who does actually a man worshiping the Chamin body, the moon day, the Davina locked to this day, Boja Inson was for a tison, the was someone, the shape me, but I don't see Tinata, Chatham, the Yuri, there's down to the. Don't have the Chami the Muya for your head.
So for the practice of accomplishing the Pure Land of devachen, so different people say different things about that, but so the Buddha himself actually spoke about it, the qualities of devachen and Amitabha. He spoke a lot about this in his sutras, and that is because in a previous aeon, the Buddha Amitabha and the Buddha Shakyamuni share a very strong samaya with each other. Because in a previous aeon, the Buddha Amitabha was born as a king, and at that time, the Buddha Shakyamuni was one of his ministers, one of his retinue, the minister Damsadur. And so they share this strong samaya of king and minister. And that is also why the Buddha mentioned the prayer of devachen, the qualities of devachen really extensively in the sutras. So it would be really excellent if you could get a recording of the Aspiration prayer of devachen by Garchen Rinpoche. It is available in 3 languages, Chinese, English, and Tibetan. And if you always think about its meaning as you play this recording continuously, actually everything that you need to know is contained within it. So for the accomplishment of the Pure Land of devachen, the Aspiration prayer of devachen by Garchen Rinpoche is really excellent.
Nang Saji the Tuju Chipamato Yorima Java Tam Yishum the Chik the Sadrzaga the Tenichoka Manasoteri, Tadra Manaso Yori Mato Sekepe, Ronka the Chukoka, this Kuji Chalok Terimato, Nang Tuju the Java the Yishum the Chik the Perleta of the Re. Tinimarani in a Tata Tayoti Kayam Mori Tati Bata Tanang, Deba Yori, Deba Chivo the Tree. Tanang Chu Haji, Lashak Song, Long Ding Song, the Teloma, like Ichi, the Toronto. Kang Tom, Mazong, the Tomazong, the Muzon, the Saji Bamita, Minute motion of war, Saji Bami, Martin Wilson, Tom, so did it all shit over your Benzing, Lord, can you say Romantaji, Ichi, then must you go on and keep it in Dzambhala, Pebble, Beautiful, on Khenpo. Keep us up to be our Tachibori, a Gomatombori. The Kong must have gone paper, not some the day or the Lama major body, then go all a penny. The Shilama saying, the little go Hortaki Lata, and in Mambo, and he paid them to the knee, came up the Dzambhala, Pebble, the Hako, Marie. Then Arguna, some of the 다 따와들고 되게 돼요래. 들이 쇼게 통랑 들이지. 다 강량님부터 쪼불라 돼. 쪼불라 되는데 네들 하고 리콤나니 말람 샤워서 말람도 다 말람 세번 말람 다와다 이거 문에 말람 많이 받다 문에는 통되는 거도 사소리 자가를 찍나니 자캠서 지캠사지 바로 거도 근데 이게 무시지 받았다 이 무시 적도 무슨 간사 설나 대식 좀 보여বে 바로 무시 적 찾이요서 그 가리 하고 그러더니 그 무시지 하고 세를 세적을 말하고 지내 사지 여바를 해서 처음에 받대 하고도 근데 대 하고는 대바지 그 공식고 요래 있는 शेको 다 사제 봐 무슨 우리 들러봐지 사제 봐 배고 들러봐지 제게 고 갖고 शेको라도 각 토방에 가더니 라봐나 랩서 지금은 막차로로로 들이 거는 자대 요리지 다고서 자대 온 거도 원는데 내려요 들이 내려서 알아요 되지 들이 라봐나 배고 들이 몇개 걸어 써봐도 되지 지금 사도 돼 까마서도 이들이 제서 kiểm tra 다 때는 잠시만 마음에 와서 당도 사지에 밤에 야성 잠때로 공부 봐 사지에 밤에 지도 들이 다 저수 좀 봤다면 되니 이마티라 들이 마군은 뭐라 때는 라라만 뭐 패서 들이 사람만 레벨들 들은 기부터 아주 뭐 패대요 그래서 저기 비고 뭐 기부 때지자 뭐 저다 패대요 그래서 비다 탕고면 기부래서 가야지면서 비다 탕고만 빨리 이어라 비만 고고 내제 비만 고데 로래 비다 탕고만 아고서 들이 다 탕고만 기부래서 거기가 시그만 이 공시그만 내가 하자생 가서 다 열심히 변호사님이 내 알고는 배운 거요 그래서 그러니까 소화를 넣어야지. 참는데 yar내가 가니 지금은 내가 한국에 까지나 넣어요. 내가 소화를 성대 다다가 같이 이러면서 소화를 성 남나는 공지 남자가도 그래 힘가도 그래 공 똑같은 배우고요. 내상 통사성을 나서 우리 정 통사성을 받아가 나오면 통도 관심이 말이 sempre 제가 통사성을 나오려야 해. 대라도 들이들이 처배 들이 바보시가 요거 menso 들이지마 내 사자자 아치 보내서 아치 보여 거기다 야내리 요거 있어 이 야내리 요거래 야내리 요거 들이 같이 나와요 그리고 아마 당은 대들 공책 검사 보고 요거래 딱형 남도 거기서 차 야고 콩되는 데서 그 콩책 잘아야 야대도 남도 주라고 말이야 들이들이 콩 같이 오는데 들이 이들 콩들 뭐야 늘 부족도 돼요. 이 콩상 제보들이 아메리카 미래 나라고 요리 이 제보들이 콩 나가면 나보거니 이 자대들 나마 제보도 어디 다 사도로 이 하대 대바이 거리 된다니 파악하지 되는데 이렇게 참 몇번 철성들이 자대지 뭐라면 다 사고진 통들 이 콩들이 꼭 제가 취소는 막차로 저기도 땅이 사대도 다 콩리셔서 하고서 들이 마키야 책기 시험만 설콩 책기 쓰면 그 콩을 때 이치부 땅들 때 특대시 본다면도 들이 나는 들이지만들이 콩들이 그런 거 공사다 요래 이렇게 대통령 다 강제 약간더니 각자 갈라 서로 생활하더니 리마는 대요래 이 각자 갈 공들이 리슈 맞은데 지나 참다는 대요래 대공들이 리슈 대공 남는데 대공 나가 이 아나다 고타 사마트 나라 요 어떻게들이 다 공지 대가 다른 이사 속게 발량도 좀 아서 대가 항상 라마는 약타든 지요래지 서쪽에 사족대 받아도 좀 야 다른 거 빼라 들이 약속이 이제 봐야 되지 들이 당문에서 사제어 마음이 매나 요바데 속을 통성 나게 사제어 마음이 개비시 있는 통성지 근데 그 마음이 좀 말이 제 말이 강을 개비시는 사지에 마음에 사지 찌그들이 독주가 사지 탑재를 잡고요. 왜래들이다. 적진송 같으니 적진송 마음이가 무슨 생강을 사지를 들어가고 다들 탑재 파고서 보고 뭐는 쓰고요. 놀라까리 사지 탑재 독주 찍고 하면 새 구독 남아나도 들어가 롱거도 들어가들이 구독 남아나도 들어가 남아나서 요배들이 망보를 차오래. 대외로들이다 동당산족센데 라마 뭐는 사지에 새 구독을 또 롱거도 들어가 같은데 되게야. 다치 로마시 나 사지에 밤에 라빠는 짱송들 라면 랍초고요 이제. 다때 랍초고데 라게 이치로 야고요 먼저 아젠다 오래. 대답을 라마 김신이 탐지에 사지가 들어가서 고고들이 대고들이 다들 온직디서 뭐 밤이 제도 없었대로 않고서 소리지되는 이 말이 나랑 수속을 라마 싸울라마 대바치 강을 대삼지 사지가 들어봐 그 가까만이 왜난 섞어서 가까이는 난 두주지 봐요 봐 대답을 시고 그래 디다도 뭐 제대로나 내 사지에 봐는 무슨 자성사들이라는 것이 내가 요래야 돼.
So then it says in the text, a garland of light radiates from the Buddha's heart. From the tips of the rays, the second Buddha, Lord Jigten Sumgön, manifests and then descends together with his sons. Having gathered accumulations and purified obscurations, may my mind stream ripen with ease. So the second Buddha, Lord Jigten Sumgön, so it is said that Jigten Sumgön is an actual emanation of the Buddha Amitabha. And so also we can see it, for example, in the sutras, the words of the Buddha himself. And so he is the second Buddha because he is not separate from the Buddha himself. But so this does not only apply to Jigten Sumgön, but actually any spiritual teacher, any guru, anyone who teaches the dharma in this world. Their minds are all the same, one with the mind of the Buddha. Because it is said within the expanse of primordial wisdom, all the Buddhas are one. They just appear in different forms due to the different mental capacities of sentient beings. So there are different forms of Sambhogakayas and Nirmanakayas appearing with different implements and ornaments and colors and so on, but their inner mind is the same. So within the expanse of primordial wisdom, all the Buddhas are one. For example, I myself do not have much learning, but I do have faith and a pure perception. I have great faith, and with a pure perception, I see beings as the Buddha. For example, sometimes disciples ask me this question of like when did you see the deity directly, and did the deity give you a prophecy, say something to you? So many disciples who trust me sometimes ask that, and I can only respond that I haven't seen anything really. But to be honest, I cannot really say that I have seen, let's say, the Buddha Amitabha, and yet I have seen the Buddha Amitabha. He has directly appeared to me. And so this is the story about seeing Buddha Amitabha. And I'm telling the stories for the sake of disciples developing trust in that. So a long time ago, when I was staying at the monastery still, there was this great Khenpo Tenzin who came to visit, and he was very old at that time, and a very, very special, incredible Khenpo. And during that time, I was at Gar Monastery doing a retreat, and meanwhile, Lama Mingyur Rinpoche, he traveled to Golok to receive the Yeshe Lama instructions from, and in the Golok area. And then when they returned, there was a whole entourage of monks and nuns, and among them was also Khenpo Tenzin Sangpo, who came back with them. So before that time, we have never met before. We didn't know each other at all. So I was still alone. They were not back yet, so I was at the upper Gar monastery doing a retreat. There were some monks, and it was early in the morning one day, and I was just sitting in an upright position, not necessarily meditating, but I was just sitting there, and I had a dream-like vision. It was not really a dream; it was like half a dream, but it was something that really a real visionary appearance that I could actually see. So it was not quite a dream, but sort of like a dream. So what I saw was, looking out of the window, I saw a very strange bird. And actually, now it is said that, for example, because of Buddha nature, in the Bardo, we develop 6 kinds of clairvoyance, or kind of supernatural powers. And so maybe that was one of these perceptions when I saw this bird. When I saw this bird, I had no other thought in my mind. I just instantly felt that this bird is the Buddha Amitabha. I had no doubt about it whatsoever, that this bird was the Buddha Amitabha. And so then there was this window between us, but somehow really thinking that this is the Buddha Amitabha, I kind of reached out my hand toward the bird, and without any obstruction, the bird just flew onto my hand. And it was a very strange bird. It had this little bundle of hair, like a tail, like a kind of ponytail in the back, and other than that, he had no hair, and it had kind of like a beard. And so it came, and it had this big beak, and with its beak, it kind of ate something from the point between my eyebrows. Something dirty must have been there, so I kind of picked on that and ate that. And then after that, I sort of woke up from this strange vision or dream-like appearance, and in my mind I thought that I have seen the Buddha Amitabha. So then the same day, around 10 o'clock in the morning, a monk came to report that the entourage of cars with Mingyur Rinpoche is returning, and among them also is a very precious Khenpo Tenzin Sangbo, from the Tartang Gompa monastery. So he came to visit, and I have not known him before, and he didn't know me. We have never met before. But so the monks reported that he was among those people returning to Gar monastery. And so I wanted to make a special welcome for him and go down and welcome him. And so I was even putting on shoes. So normally I was not wearing shoes and just going barefoot. And so at that time I went down then with a few monks, to welcome him. And so when they arrived and he came out and he saw me, he came straight up to me, and he said, "I've seen you before, I've met you before." And then I straight responded, "Me too, I've seen you before too. Actually, I've never seen him before, and he's never seen me before, but we don't know each other." But we just both said that directly to each other. It was very strange. And so at first he was not going to stay for long, but then once he arrived, he said that this is a very special place, a very holy place. I will stay for the summer retreat. So then he stayed for a while, and he also gave teachings. So one time he gave teachings, and he was sitting on his throne, and I was sitting on the ground, listening to the teachings. And then he said, "Come up to sit with me up there. There's no need to have any thoughts about that." And so then I went there, and so I got kind of a close-up view of him that way as he was giving teachings. And as I looked at him more closely, from that perspective, I saw he had this like little ponytail, but he didn't have any other hair, and he had this beard, and also he had this kind of beak-like nose with like American people and big eyes. And I really felt that this is the bird that I've seen. And he had this like blanket covered around him, which kind of reminded me of the plumage of the bird. And I thought that this is the bird that I have seen. This is the Buddha Amitabha. And so immediately great devotion in him as Amitabha arose in me. And I knew now why we directly said to each other, "I've seen you before." And he also said, so he said that, and I said that to him too. because he really came as this bird, as an emanation of Amitabha, even though we have never talked to each other before that. And so he also really was very fond of me, and he had great trust in me. For example, one time I was going outside. It was this kind of up the hill to rest there in the sun, and often I would also go there at night. But so one time I was there, and one of the monks brought this Khenpo here, and when we met, then he gave me his robe, his yogic pants and meditation belt, and then he put it all on me, and then he said, "May we attain enlightenment together." And when he said that, I was really so amazed, because I have met hundreds of great lamas before, but nobody has ever said that to me. So that I found very special, and I agreed to that, and I said lasso, and then we took a picture. So really, he was to me the Buddha Amitabha. And so the Buddha Amitabha appears as a human in many different ways. Any spiritual teacher that you have a connection to, you can see as the Buddha Amitabha. So it's not just, I'm not saying this to say that he's the emanation of the Buddha Amitabha, but any spiritual teacher can be an emanation of the Buddha Amitabha, because their mind stream is one, all their minds are one with the mind of the Buddha. The Buddha's mind is all pervasive, and it pervades all of their minds. That's why we also say that Jigten Sumgön is an actual emanation of Amitabha. And also it is said that in each Pure Land, an emanation of each Buddha resides. This is explained again in the Aspiration prayer for excellent conduct, the King of Aspiration prayers. So all the Buddhas have the same mind stream. Only externally they manifest in different ways, as some Bogakayas or Nirmanakayas and so on, depending on the mental capacities of the various sentient beings to be tamed. But on the ultimate level, the essence of the guru, of any guru, is the ultimate bodhicitta. And the outer body appears as the various Sambhogakayas and Nirmanakayas. So because of this experience I've had with the Buddha Amitabha, I can actually confidently say that I've had a direct contact with the Buddha Amitabha, and he actually touched me. So we've been like this bird who was eating the dirt from my face. And in this way, this is how we should understand all the gurus as real emanations of the Buddha. Just like also Jigten Sumgön is an actual emanation of the Buddha Amitabha. So if then those who think it's just Jigten Sumgön, they actually have a biased state of mind. It could be your own root guru, whoever you have devotion to, that is an emanation of the Buddha, can be an emanation of the Buddha Amitabha. They are not separate. They have different bodies, but they do not have different minds. And so one sign of that was this experience I have had with my encounter with the Buddha Amitabha, that really helped me develop really tremendous faith and trust.
Oh, that's in a sage commentary. She's a soul of my own pomp me by a song. So that chinny, Jabota rapes. The Lenin continue sort of jar or jab. The little Goka such a tongue or a solo yagadi. The Risha only said, touch on is an easily, and the more chairs on, the more some chairs or the Shato, the more chicken on my Shato Chibet on that day. They come with the choose a soul on Pama me by a song theatre. This original, they call Jima paper cups, I was contacting by a foreign that all. They give you concourse on some 3 February. The Roma, the Tashala Yore, Paso, Nakamanbushi Yapori, Donang is Saji Abami was Tom Young, Saji Abami Lago, Young Young, the Hila, that the Kilo Rebella, and taking Lakabedi. Don't need Saji Abami the Theodore. They took Gary Cogan, so Lama gave him Tamsi Theodore, Drubwang was Saji, Drubwang, Midnight Yoris, they have got each other, they have got.
And just to tell another short story about the same Khenpo, and so we have this picture of him where we can also see that he doesn't have any toes, not at all. So there's just this like blocks of feet, but he doesn't have any toes. And so how did that happen? It was during the time of the Cultural Revolution. He was arrested by the communists, and then they tried to make a deal with him, and they said that, so since you are a great Khenpo and many people trust you, you must go and tell all those people that the Dharma is a lie, and that until now we have just deceived you, but it's all a lie, there is no real Dharma. If you tell them that, then we give you a status, we will give you money, we will let you go freely. If you do not do that, then we will kill you. And so in response he says, then kill me. Because even at the cost of my life, I will not give up the Dharma. That was in his mind. That is our vow. That even at the cost of our lives, we will not give up the Dharma. So he would refuse to do that. And so then they tortured him. And so he was in a prison in Golok, where it was very cold in winter. And they put these iron shackles on around his ankles, on his feet, and they bound them so tightly that blood was oozing from his feet, and they tortured him so much with that until the point where there were no more toes left. They all fell off from that. So that's why he didn't have a single toe left. But this was his commitment to not abandon the Dharma even at the cost of one's life. And then also, and I'm coming back to this story when he was in Gar Monastery, at the time when he left Gar Monastery, he asked me for my meditation belt and my begging bowl, that I really want these. So I gave him these, and then he left. So that was the end of this story. And so I'm telling this story because often like Western disciples really benefit from these stories. I could just say that, yes, I have seen the Buddha Amitabha, and the Buddha Amitabha even touched me, but I won't just say that, but I will give you the story behind that. And it's not that the actual form of Amitabha appeared, but to me Amitabha really actually appeared, because I saw him as the Buddha Amitabha. And similarly, you can see your own guru, any spiritual master, as an emanation of the Buddha. They appear among human beings in all kinds of different forms. So I told you this story for you to understand this point.
타블람 체로리 대출려야 요면 세로세 대로 살로 동거리 송지 짜친 버리 대도 추서 소랑만 매바이 대대와 하고 거리도 담책이 맞대리 들이다가 나한테는 참적이 애들이 내렸더니 라마콘을 조랑지 라는 거 잡을 라마 탐지 용디 사지 가사가라 요아 대라나 무슨 뜻밖에 나요 대하고지 체들이는 거 시에바이
And so the reason why he would not say that the Dharma is a lie, it's all false, in the face of difficulties, was because it would cause great harm, because there were a lot of people who had devotion in him and who trusted him and who believed in the Dharma. So if someone like him would say that to these people, then he would really disconnect them from the path of liberation. So he couldn't say that. And therefore he said, this is how you need to think. even if they kill me, let them kill me. I will not abandon the dharma even at the cost of my life. So this is the powerful samaya that these great masters have. So for now we stop the teachings here and also discuss this again with your own lamas, your own root gurus. And now again, the reason for me mentioning this story is so that you see that all of these gurus have these qualities and they all are actual nirmanakayas appearing in this world. So the reason for me telling these stories is for you to understand this point.
Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme Om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme nam mani padme hum, om mani padme nam mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme Om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme nam mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme 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 hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme om mani padme hum, om mani padme hum, om mani padme 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 Om mani padme Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Me hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Me hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani. Mani padme hum. Om 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 mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme. Om mani padme. Me hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Me hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. 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 Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani. Mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Me hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani. Manipimeho, 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 manipime, manipimeho, manipime, manipimeho, manipimeho, manipime, manipimeho, 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 manipime, manipimeho, manipime. Bimeho, mane bimeho, mane bimeho, mane bim, mane bimeho, 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 mane bimeho. Mane bimeho, 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 mane bimeho. Mane pimeho, 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 mane mane pimeho, 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 mane pimeho. Tenzin joran tenzin Ojara tante yamemena jene yajen tovar chubana laya ranye pabe kujursom.
At the end of the session, the universe and beings melt into light and are absorbed into myself. I then melt into light and dissolve into the Shri. The Shri subsides into the natural state, devoid of thoughts. I rest in it as long as it remains. When thoughts proliferate anew, I manifest again as the exalted Lord.
Oh Nanga Dava Jabba Jujeja Zejeva Bamela Samsalo.
To the Dharmakaya of the bliss-gone ones of the 3 times, Chenrezig, who looks after all beings of the 6 realms, who has 11 faces and is pervasive like space, to the splendorous one of infinite light, I bow.
Om Mane Padme Ore Tenpa Nyame Tawang Shakyeto So Jarva Jam So Sedanje Gaju Lama Nam Jen Chu Jenda Nimbo Ye Ge Zhongmen Yung War Xiong.
May the unequaled guide, king among sages, crown of the Shakyas, ocean of victorious ones together with their children, and all the Kagyu Lamas amass like offering clouds through the essence mantra of the 6 syllables.
Om Mane Padme Ore Depe Sanje Namje Gomzo Dang Ma Wong Sanje Namje Tsosa Dang Tada Yoba Namje Shabdenda Nimbo Yege Choma Yung Shong.
May the perfected intentions of all the Buddhas of the past, the gathered accumulations of all the Buddhas of the future, and the steadfast longevity of all the Buddhas of the present arise through the essence mantra of the 6 syllables.
Om Mane Padme Ore Leje Deve Pama Lo Pundang Nindun Tundro Re Shen Do Bana Gombo Chin Re Se Je Lo Na Zhu devachen do jeva sengelo.
Lord Chenrezig, please guide on the path my parents and teachers with whom I share a karmic connection, along with all the relatives and like-minded companions I rely upon. Please bless them to be born in devachen.
Om Mane Padme Ore Te La Tene Cha Do Mo Som Je Ne Don Drabge Che Len Du De Na Gomba Chin Re Ze Je Lom Na Zhu devachen do jeva sengelo.
Lord Chenrezig, please guide on the path the classes of demons, stealers of vitality, enemies, obstructing spirits, illnesses, and harmful forces generated from attachment, aversion, and ignorance. Please bless them to be born in devachen.
Om Mane Padme Ore Ma Je Shebe Jen Do Chen Chen Dang Me Je Song Be Jen Do Po Mo Na Gombo Chin Re Ze Je Lam Na Zhu devachen do jeva sengelo.
Lord Chenrezig, please guide on the path the kind patrons who have asked not to be forgotten, and the male and female patrons who have been told that they will not be forgotten. Please bless them to be born in devachen.
Om Mane Padme Ore Go Song To De Lama Gen Dong Go Gulu Te Ze Tenpe Sem Jena Gomba Chin Re Ze Je Lom Na Zhu devachen do jeva sengelo.
Lord Chenrezig, please guide on the path those sentient beings who rely on donations, ransom offerings, and sustenance given with faith to the Lama, Sangha, and representations of enlightened body, speech, and mind. Please bless them to be born in devachen.
Om Mani Padme Hum De Chu Darling Bando Mengenje Temme Yo Jung In Sem Chawana Gombo Chin Ze Jelam Na Zhu Deva Chen Do Jewa
Lord Chenrezig, please guide on the path those kings, minister, and subjects with poor conduct, as well as dishonest people who are shameless, deceptive, and harbor negative thoughts. Please bless them to be born in devachen.
Om Mani Padme Chodan Tsaming Apodan De Danyin Chupelingina Gombo Chin Zejelam Nadu Deva Chendo Jevar Sengelo.
Lord Chenrezig, please guide on the path those who have engaged in negative actions, such as the 10 non-virtues, the 5 acts of immediate consequence, and the 5 deeds similar to those of immediate consequence. Please bless them to be born in devachen.
Om Mani Padme Hum Hoye Dzambhala Na Sembada Shenpo Se Kalam Be Tsendena Gombo Chin Ze Jelam Na Zhu Deva Chen Do Jewa Sengelo.
Lord Chenrezig, please guide on the path those for whom we have directly received written dedication requests, and those departed ones on whose behalf we have accepted offerings of food. Please bless them to be born in devachen.
Om Mani Padme Hum Shava Vetu Dhammegentho Yeden Kam Je Tsende Malupa Gombo Chin Ze Jelam Na Zhu Deva Chen Do Jevar Sengelo.
Lord Chenrezig, please guide on the path those whose deaths we have heard about, those whose deaths we have seen with our own eyes, and all those beings without exception throughout the world who have passed away. Please bless them to be born in devachen.
Om Mani Padme Hum La Ro Choro So Me Deme Pardon Chambana Gombo Chin Ze Jelam Na Zhu Deva Chen Do Jevar Sengelo.
Lord Chenrezig, please guide on the path those who have died from knives, starvation, fatalities on mountain passes, drowning, and the like. Also guide those who wander in the bardo, devoid of wholesome deeds or negativities. Please bless them to be born in devachen.
Om Mani Padme Hum O Yon Tong Be Man Zhe Chen Qian Dang Sha Cha Su Pe Sem Je Ma Le Pa Gombo Chin Ze Jelam Na Zhu Deva Chen Do Jevar Sengelo.
Lord Chenrezig, please guide on the path those kind Mother Drui, whose milk and yogurt we have partaken of, and all the sentient beings without exception, whose blood and meat we have eaten. Please bless them to be born in devachen.
Om Mani Padme Hum Manjo Khagan Dang Bing Shen Dong Me Na Bo Me Se Me Ba Na Gamba Chin Re Se Je Lam Na Dru Deva Chendo Jeva Senjelo.
Lord Chenrezig, please guide on the path those beings who we weigh down with unbearable loads and beat as we ride. Those beings who, when they will not go, we force with nose ropes to plow and plow. Please bless them to be born in devachen.
Om Mani Padme Hum Tang Kam Sam Nga Re Dzambhala Tenzin Len Son Len Ten Ye Wo Na Gamba Chin Re Ze Je Lam Na Dru Deva Chendo Jeva Senjelo.
Lord Chenrezig, please guide on the path those throughout Ut, Sang, Kam, Ngari, and the whole world, those among the other 3 continents and subcontinents, and everyone under the sun. Please bless them to be born in devachen.
Om Mani Padme Hum Yowa Jem Nga La Ne Je De Zo Chen Zo Man Cha Ra Sen Je Na Gomba Chin Re Ze Je Lam Na Dru Deva Chendo Jeva Senjelo.
Lord Chenrezig, please guide on the path those who dwell within and are comprised of the 5 elements, as well as all coarse and subtle sentient beings, those who have forms and those who are formless. Please bless them to be born in devachen.
Om Mani Padme Hum Yarva Yada Tundro Lama Yen Lama La Song Kam Sam Sem Jena Gomba Chin Re Ze Je Lam Na Dru Deva Chendo Jeva Senjelo.
Lord Chenrezig, please guide on the path the hell beings, hungry ghosts, animals, demigods, gods, humans, and all sentient beings of the 3 realms. Please bless them to be born in devachen.
Om Mani Padme Hum So Je Shen Ka Ram Jan Tha Len De Deb Jen Ten Ba Ka Ve Sen Jen Na Gomba Chin Re Ze Je Lam Na Dru Deva Chendo Jeva Senjelo.
Lord Chenrezig, please guide on the path those throughout the limitless expanse of pure realms in the 10 directions, and likewise all inconceivably infinite sentient beings. Please bless them to be born in devachen.
Om Mani Padme Hum Om Benza Sadhu Samaya Mani Pala Benza Sadhu Dino Ba Tidro Dindro Me Ba Sudhu Kayo Me Ba Va Subhu Chayo Me Ba Va Anurado Me Ba Va Sarva Siddhi Me Ba Sarva Karma Sudha Me Zudam Shayam Guru ha 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 ho banga ma da dang ga dang ma 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 da ba ma sa ma ya sa to page 27. La sarve to so hong wen te lama ren zen zawasum tu yu gur tam che jin te pa dar sun san la wang gur mu zhou zhou ye zhe le zhu ba yu.
From the life force Hong at the heart of myself, visualized as the deity, radiates light, invoking the enlightened mind of the Guru, knowledge holders, and three roots. They all appear like billowing clouds and bestow blessings, empowerment in cities, and perform enlightened acts.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us in this session. And I want to remind people that we will be gathering back together at 1 p.m. today. And our visiting Lamas, Khenpo, Jiga Rinpoche, and Tsulniy Rinpoche, have kindly agreed to answer some questions starting at 1 p.m. today till about 1:45, and then we will begin the 2 o'clock afternoon session. So please, everyone, join for that. And anyone who has not yet submitted a question and wants to, please email us at registration@garchen.net, and we will have more question and answer sessions later in the retreat this week. Thank you.